fascinating.
All right, now time for some fascinating cultural stories in the news today. The Los Angeles Times is reporting that Disney is killing off the princess. This weekend, the folks at Disney will release Tangled. That's the latest installment of the Princess Rapunzel letting down her hair. But after that, it's a wrap for the fairy tale animated movies. Apparently, little girls are no longer longing to become princesses when they grow up. Their princess movies for Disney have not done as well lately. Apparently, little girls want to be cool pop stars now instead. Comedian Chuck Nice is joining us live. Did Miley Cyrus kill off the princesses?
You know what? I hope not. But if she did, guess what? You little girls are quite the fools, aren't you? Because being a princess is awesome. Take it from me. I used to be one. So
is that right? How does that work?
I'm glad the crew laughed at that, because that was a dicey prospect going with that joke. Yeah. But seriously, I'll tell you who this really screws up, and it's young boys. Because as far as I'm concerned, when I was growing up, I was told I had to be a prince, that I had to be a gentleman. Now these kids are getting let off the hook. Now they can act like those guys from Jersey Shore, and the girls will have nothing to compare them to. So, it's like, oh yeah, that's my little prince over there. Yeah, the one throwing up in the corner. Isn't he sweet? Yeah.
Right, and the singer Prince might have to change his name again.
Yes.
If you can't have princes, you probably can't have princes.
A prince. Yeah, well now he's got to go back to squiggly line circle with an arrow thing.
Right, exactly. But you never know. They might make a comeback, because they actually killed off the princess for 30 years. In 1959, they did Sleeping Beauty. They didn't do another princess movie until 1989 with The Little Mermaid. So maybe it makes a comeback.
So the princes will be back. Princesses will be back.
All right. That's a good prediction. Now, here's a crazy story. An Indiana father is claiming he lost visitation rights with his children because of his religious beliefs. He's agnostic. The father says he started digging for answers when his time with his kids was reduced after the judge determined he communicated better with his ex-wife when he was a Christian. I don't know what the judge is doing deciding that. Isn't that crazy?
That is beyond crazy. On a serious note, this is a serious trampling of the constitutional rights of each and every one of us. To have a judge say that you have to be a certain, where does it stop? Okay, well, you're not a good enough Christian, or you haven't done a miracle. It's kind of crazy. If this is really what it is, just the fact that he's agnostic, then this is a terrible miscarriage of justice. I'm hoping that there's more to this story. Something like he's agnostic and he likes to eat puppies. Something like that.
No, look, it's a divorce, so that both sides are getting at one another. Right. She says he showed up at work and yelled. He says she doesn't take care of the kids, etc. He actually got beat up by her boyfriend too. He's in bad shape. But let me quote you something here. According to Fox 59, Judge George Pankow wrote, the father did not participate in the same religious training as the mother, and noted that the father was agnostic. And it goes on to say, when the father considered himself a Christian, the parties were able to communicate relatively effectively. So the judge is saying, hey, listen, I'm not against you for being agnostic, but
right.
You're having trouble communicating because she's Christian and you're not. And you think that would have flown if he said, you're a Jew, and as a Jew you can't communicate as well, or Muslim or Buddhist. It's crazy.
That is crazy. That's beyond. Honestly, people marry. Interfaith marriage is here. It happens. There's a way for people to actually get along and come to. It's called. What is it called? Oh, being an adult. That's what it's called.
Yeah, and I saw the guy in the report. He's crying. He's like, I love my kids. Everybody knows I love my kids. All right, it's a miscarriage of justice, but we're going to work on it.
But I got news for him. Buddy, be careful what you wish for. I've spent a few weekends with my kids, and it ain't as easy as you think.
Okay, so ease up on the amount of time you want to spend. All right. Now on to the Pope. The Pope says it's okay to use condoms, sometimes. It might depend on, are you sitting, whether you're a male or female prostitute, and whether you're trying to prevent diseases or pregnancy. Okay, now, look, he says, we need that, the baby machine to keep rolling.
Right.
Right, but if you're trying to prevent disease...
It's a whole nother story.
Right, does that make sense?
Here's the thing. It's kind of convoluted logic, but it makes sense in a weird, crazy kind of way, because, the logic here is, listen, if you're already committing the sin of adultery and fornication by being a male or female prostitute, you might as well be safe about it. Which kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Because, really, you're in a lot of trouble on the other side anyway.
Right, exactly.
You might as well not get sick on this side.
It's like this. You're going to hell don't get sick on the way.
That ain't gonna help anybody. It's absolutely true.
Right?
And
I just makes sense.
I just didn't know the Pope could change rules like that. Does he go like, all right, I'm getting a message. The condoms are going to be okay for prostitutes going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, though, I have to say, the Pope always takes a lot of heat. And here is an instant where the Catholic Church is trying to be progressive and actually speak to a social malady that plagues our society. So in a way, you have to give the Catholic Church some credit here, because they're really stepping out on a limb. To say anything about condom usage being okay, that's akin to them like having a key party. Like, hey, put your keys in the fishbowl. Let's go. Like, this kind of it's a real test for them.
If they did, they'd put it in the papal hat, which would be really cool. But all right, and you're right, I do give them credit.
Yeah, you gotta give them credit.
It's the right move.